Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Aamir Hussain. I'm a fan of research, life and health, and I like to talk about it, so I decided to make YouTube videos, which you can see over here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my actual bedroom studio, the tour and in-depth analysis of all the different parts, the workstation, the shelves, the camera gear, the different things that I bought to make it more of a studio type feel. Now, you might have seen in the previous video, over here, that I talked about the little things that I got up to towards the latter end of 2020 and my plan for 2021. But this video is going to be all about how I set up this bedroom tour, the things that I bought, how much it cost, why did I arrange it like this, and a lot of the hurdles that I face, which I hope will help you if you encounter or decide to start making your own YouTube studio or bedroom or workstation, whatever it may be. But before I go into it, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's not difficult. Press the button, it'll be super helpful for me and the channel. And if you do like this video towards the end, do give it a like. That will be much appreciated. So let's get into the summary of what actually happened. So you'll see now on the screen a photo of this particular angle before anything was changed. And if I can find a video amongst my phone and iPad, I'll put it up here as well. So you can see what it was before and what I was working with before. So I never recorded videos in my room before. It was all outside predominantly, as you can see here in the What Comes to Mind series. And then I came across essentially an impasse. So mid 2020, when I finished that season 1, I grew a lot of confidence in making videos. I was really good at editing it on LumaFusion using my iPad, which you see here. And it got to a point where the capabilities of LumaFusion didn't match what I wanted to do. So I wanted to have more polished videos like this, and hopefully you agree it is. And I didn't have a place to actually do that. So I was contemplating renting an office space. Do I do the room up, which I thankfully did? What do I need? How am I going to set it up? How can I make it more of a workstation? Because obviously many of us are working from home. So how can I essentially make a multi-purpose space which is not very big at all? It's probably 2 of my wingspans, whereas you see many YouTubers have like an entire massive space. So for example, Unbox Therapy, there's like a whole warehouse for its studio. But for those who are starting off, those who are new, what could I essentially change in my room to make it more of a studio? So you've got the desk, the workstation, the shelf, the camera gear, the whiteboard. I'm going through exactly what I did and where I got these from. So a lot of the links for these will be in the description, by the way. As I mentioned before, it was from IKEA and Amazon predominantly, but I will put the names of them, the cost, and the links if you do like them and you want them into your actual studio. So after all those decisions, I elected to change my room, and I want to show you now, step by step, what happened. So let's get started with the shelf. So let me take you over there. So as you can see, there's a bit of an organization with this shelf. The top shelf has a lot of self-help, productivity, kind of how to do guides, stuff like that. From some of the top and most successful entrepreneurs, business people, athletes, you know, kind of the elite of the levels of thinking in terms of productivity and performance. And I thought, why not learn from these great people? So that top shelf has all of these combinations of books and autobiographies and guides from these type of people. Going down this shelf is all about nutrition. So from smoothies to encyclopedias of, you know, nutritional elements, you know, preventative type medicine, herbal medicine, that type of thing. That's a whole shelf dedicated to that, because I'm very passionate about uncovering combinations between certain foods, certain spices perhaps, and see, you know, what research is out there and what essentially needs to be done a bit further. Going down, we've got a kind of partition between biomedical science, which is on the left, which is the first degree that I did, and then on the right is all medicine related books, because I'm contemplating doing medicine. Next we have these box files. It's nice and organized, nice and colorful, and those when I have actually loose papers related to some lab work or related to the foundation, related to, you know, all sorts of kind of general admin stuff that you can't digitize completely. and sometimes letters and emails, receipts, sorry, those go into this actual box file. So that's what that is there for. And then going down one step more, we have another partition, because on the left it's more exercise, sports science, that type of thing. And on the right, which is more heavily book focused, is psychology. So a lot of the different books I've acquired on psychology. And now stepping back, I have not read all of these books, of course, but I'm going through them as and when I actually need them, and picking out bits of information and then combining it together. So it's a really nice video for you guys to watch and enjoy. Now you're going to see the two cabinets that I have, and they are actually connected via a smart plug, which you'll see. And you now see me on bed pressing a button on my Philips Hue app, which is on my iPad and iPhone and iMac actually, and you see the lights will go off. And that is something that is super cool when you're in bed. You keep them on for reading, and then you can obviously just press a button and then they go off, which is actually quite handy. And then moving on, you'll see here with the whiteboard, you've got these strips of light, which again are from Amazon. The link is in the description. And all I essentially did was just wrap that strip light around the hinges of the glass whiteboard, because it actually comes out a little bit. So it's actually a perfect line for you to wrap them around. And then I cut them off, and as you can see on the top left, I plugged them into the socket that I have there, and use a little clip to keep the wire in place. And that also is connected via a smart plug. So again, I can turn it off, as you'll see now, with the Philips Hue app. I'm contemplating getting a coloured one for the bedroom main light. Let me know what you think about them if you actually have one. It would be interesting to see what your thoughts are. So we're back, and that is the kind of bedroom furniture done in terms of what is there and how I got them. Again, just to reiterate in case I've missed it, these desks and the bedroom cabinet are all from IKEA. The flowers are all from IKEA. The Amazon whiteboard, glass whiteboard, is kind of giving it away. It's from Amazon, and the strip lights are also from Amazon. But let's now move on to the workstation, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. Hey guys, welcome to now the workstation part of this video, and this angle that you see here is potentially going to be my live stream filming setup. Let me know what you think about the angle, because once I eventually reach the YouTube milestones, I'll be able to do YouTube lives, and I'm thinking this setup, so I'm now here typing and showing my screen and stuff like that with this angle. I think it looks pretty good. Again, I don't have a front facing monitor, so I don't know, I'm just actually doing guesswork. So let me know what you think before I go into live stream later on. But anyway, let's go on to the workstation, which is obviously the iMac that you can see here. So I'm just going to put up a graphic so you can see the iMac, the peripherals, and these are the upgrades that you can see on the overlays. But I just want to give you a little bit of a backstop as to how I got to this decision, which is obviously part of this whole video today. And I spent many weeks deciding what workstation to actually get, because do I go Windows, Apple, because I'm a big Apple fan. I have iPhone, the watch, the iPad, which I've been using for so long, and I thought it would be best to be in the Apple ecosystem. You know, I know a lot of people have disagreements because once you're in, it's hard to get out, but I don't need to get out, so I don't see that kind of issue. But the other side is Apple do cost a lot. It is worth it, but it does cost a lot. And I didn't want to spend so much money on like a MacBook Pro, which is portable, which is something that I did consider. So because of COVID as well, you know, we won't be in lockdown, I thought to myself, how many times am I actually going to edit outside of my room, essentially, for this period in my career of filmmaking? So I decided, okay, let me go to Apple and let's go more iMac than MacBook Pro, because I have the iPad Pro already, so this is my kind of portable thing. So it probably just makes sense to have the iMac. I'm not going to spend an iMac Pro because that's way too much money. And so I thought, okay, let's now make a decision on an iMac. But even the iMacs themselves are not cheap, and I already spent a lot of money with the bedroom furniture and the stuff like that. So I thought, what do I do next? And thankfully I came across Luke Manioni's YouTube channel, which you can see here, and he talks about upgrading old Apple stuff so it's actually more usable now. It does all things Apple, and it's really good, really nice speaker and really good content. So do check him out. I'm not sponsored by him, there's no favors. It's just somebody who I really enjoy watching. And I came across his 2013 iMac video where he found the 2013 iMac, bought it off eBay, upgraded it the same way that I got this upgraded because I learned from him, and then edited a 4K video, which is the same framing resolution and quality that I use off my iPhone. And he had no problems. He said it works really well, there's no issues, and it's a fraction of the price. So I thought, why don't I just do the same? So I essentially went on eBay, found some iMacs and looked at which ones was best and affordable and local, so I have to travel too far. And then I bought the frame, the basic standard iMac, 27-inch, really big screen, which is really cool, for £300. Now, if you're not doing any video editing, no hard stuff, that alone is amazing. So if you're looking to get something bigger screen and all-in-one type thing, I bought it off eBay and it's working perfectly. There are no issues, no faults to report either. But I needed to upgrade it for the video editing side because it requires a lot of CPU and power and all of those computer terminologies that you hear people like Marcus Brownlee and all of those people talking about. So I went to a place called NEPC Fix, which is quite local to where I live, and I got them to upgrade the SSD, extra RAM, and just to clean up the insides. So when I bought this iMac off eBay, I got that. So here's the specs: the standard Fusion drive, 1TB Fusion drive, standard 8GB of RAM. So I upgraded the RAM just buying two DDR3 RAMs, so it became 16GB. And then when I got it upgraded, I got them to add another 16GB to max out the RAM to 32GB. So now, again, as you saw with the text overlay, this iMac now spec is the Intel Core Quad Core i5. I'll make sure I remember that. It's Quad Core i5. 32GB of DDR3 RAM, 2TB SSD, so a lot of faster storage, which really helped this iMac. Because those who may know, those who are in the Apple space, the biggest issue with the 2013 iMac was that Fusion drive, which really slowed things down. So I got that replaced with the 2TB SSD. And then these peripherals that I actually bought off eBay, the Magic 2 keyboard, the Magic mouse, and then the trackpad, which culminated to around £190 to £200 for all three together, which is not a bad price because I use the trackpad for when I'm going through the video editing and then use a mouse for general stuff. But I find myself predominantly using the trackpad for pretty much everything. So I've not really used the mouse per se, but I did buy it, so I do want to include it in this costing. But what if I actually bought a brand new iMac? What would be the price comparison between this essentially £800-ish all-in-one with the peripherals 2013 version? Why don't we have a look, shall we? So I'm going to share my screen, so hopefully you'll see it in a moment. And let's go have a look. apple.co.uk. Let's have a look at the Mac. iMac. I wish we could buy a Mac Pro. Imagine that would be like £10,000. But right, iMac 27-inch. Buy the mid-range model, as we can see. And again, I'm not going to upgrade anything here because that's not fair. Apple charge way too much for upgrades like this, so we're going to pretend it's normal and then upgrade the whole iMac as if the same way I upgraded my current iMac as well. But what we will buy is the Magic Mouse and Magic Trackpad because I did buy them with this iMac. Obviously it comes with a keyboard. So about £2,128 plus £275 for the upgrades that I would get, so the 2TB SSD, the 32GB of RAM, £2,400 altogether, and I paid £800. So it's a third less. I paid a third, so a fraction of the cost for this. And it does everything that this does. Obviously this does it better, it's clearer, it's potentially faster with the 6 cores compared to the 4 and the better processor. But for £800 for a full workstation, it's not bad, is it? So let me know your thoughts on that if you can. If you've got something similar, or if you have bought some new Apple software and you want to share your thoughts, please do. Interested to see what you have. Let me know in the comments. But let's move on to the camera side of things. Hey guys, so the camera setup, as you can see, is behind me. And this part of the video I wanted to show why I spent so long deciding to have the framing there, because you'll see in a minute, I can't now go to the other side of my bed. I have to do this, which is annoying, but if I show you the other framings that I thought of, I think you'll agree that what you see in the videos is probably the best framing I can do in regards to all the space that I have at the moment. So this was one framing I thought of, but as you can see, you can't see much of the iMac. There is some depth of field, which is good, but I'm still again not really centered in the shot. So this was a potential one. I could use it as a second camera whenever I get one, but wasn't ideal, and I wasn't too happy with this frame. But then I thought of this frame. The unfortunate disadvantage is I can't go through the walkway on the side of my bed, so I have to jump on the bed and walk off. But it's a small price to pay for a, I presume, better framing than the one you saw earlier. The perfect framing would be where my bed is, but unfortunately I can't really move my bed or make a massive hole in the middle of it and stick a tripod. So this was the best I could come up with the small kind of little areas that I could do in my room. And you'll see now the whole stand is connected to the railing because it's a bit too heavy. I'm getting sandbags, but I think this is a better fix for the time being. So I'm mean by better framing, I'm a bit more centered in the shot. You can see more of the iPad, and it provides a little colour as well. You get more of the colour of the shelves as well, so that little kind of break between the two is quite nice. I'm sitting in a decent frame. You can hear me quite well as well. I'm not too close, and I'm not too far away that I'm in another house. So I thought this was the best that I could do. The whiteboard light provides a bit of light this way, the key light and there. Got a bit of the light from the general main room light coming this way as well. And of course this provides a bit of light to the backdrop. So I thought of all of that to make this framing, and I think I was a lot happier with this than the previous one, and I think you would be too. But let me know your thoughts. Which framing did you thought was better, this or the previous one? Or any other ideas that you have. Personally, when I was shooting this video, you just saw earlier the live stream frame, and I thought that looked really, really cool. So I've kind of taken pictures of that to make sure I remember how I framed it, because again, I don't have a front facing monitor, so I can't have to use my eye from that point of view. But I thought of this to make this framing, and again, hopefully I thought you enjoyed it so far. But let's move on now to the costing of everything and how much it costs total, and then we'll take it from there. Is that okay? So let's go and move on to costing. So I hope you enjoyed that different angles and different parts of the room to make up what we have here. But now is the juicy bit, which is a breakdown of how much everything cost. And you will now actually see why it took me nearly a year to set this up. Now, breakdowns you're going to see on the screen. I can't remember all the prices off the top of my head, so I've got my trusty iPad with me. This thing has my whole life is on this thing, by the way. And if anybody's thinking of getting something, get an iPad with a keyboard. It's portable, it's really useful, but you have the M1 Max, etc. But anyway, I'm digressing. Let's do the cost. Cost now. So you see on the screen on the left hand side. For the bedroom furniture, this actual desk costs £60. The shelves, so this big 2 meter one is £35. The two cabinets that you saw, that was £40 each, so £80. The flower pots, so you saw it before, but I'll show you. That one actually was £3 just for one. This pot, so again I'm cheating, that's the plant, artificial, and then that was £2.50 if I can remember. And then these little ones that you saw, Those are £3 a pack. So that's all we're up to now. The laptop stand that you saw earlier, so where I had the iPad and the laptop, my work laptop, that was £25 because you can actually alter it. So if you've got a bigger laptop, it does fit. It's actually quite handy. The lights that you saw on the bedroom side, that was £27 for the two, and smart plugs for the whiteboard, and then that was £27 each. The whiteboard itself was £70, and the strip lights that you see across it or around the side of it, sorry, those were £15. And then the box files, so these colourful box files, those were those were £30. I'm getting confused. £30. So that's the cost of the actual bedroom furniture, if you will. And you can see the cost over here. Now going on to the more workstation, so essentially this, not including because this I had a long time ago, but just this. As I mentioned earlier, I got the iMac for £300 from eBay, and then I upgraded the RAM there and then, just 2 slots of 8 gigs, so 16 gigabytes of RAM, which was £41. And then got the whole thing upgraded, as I mentioned, which totally cost £275, and part of that was the 2TB SSD, the Samsung Evo one. Samsung A60 Evo, if anybody in particular. Again, it's in the description if you want to buy one for your own. I upgraded the other 2 slots of RAM. So for those who don't know, the 2013 iMac has 4 slots of RAM, totaling up to 32 gig. So I maxed out the RAM, which does help. And that was £55. £40 was the installation of all of it, the clean, getting it, taking out the display, doing all the repairs. The SSD itself cost £180, and then the peripherals, so the Magic Keyboard and the mouse was £110, which is pretty decent, again off eBay, and the Magic Trackpad was £80, again off eBay as well, and the adapter that you saw earlier where I had the USB, that was actually £15 from Amazon, and that's how much all of this costs. And I mentioned before about how reliable it is, how powerful it is, how it does everything I want to as part of the ecosystem, so it's really good. So now the camera setup, we have the stand with the light, which costs £85, that's without the softbox, and then with the softbox is £33 for that. I have batteries behind the light, so there's not too many wires going everywhere. That costs £28, but it does come with the charger, so I can just take out the batteries, charge it, and it's actually quite handy. The boom arm for the microphone, that costs £22. The small rig clamp that clamps the arm, etc., that costs £12 and £16 together. And then the microphone that I use for this setup is the Rode Micro, and that costs £41, and then £10 for the little adapter so it can click to the aux cable. The microphone that I use for the B-roll and for the live stream that you saw before, that was the Comic CVM V30 Lite. That costs £36. Again, just clip it on top as you saw earlier. And then the aux cable that links the microphone right here to the phone, that cost £6, and then unfortunately the adapter costs more, typical Apple. The adapter from the lightning to the aux, that costs £9. Then going forward, the B-roll tripod that you saw that I was using earlier, that was the Amazon basic one, which is £21. And the stabilizer that I used on top to hold the iPhone so it doesn't wobble anywhere, that was £15. Now you can see all the numbers on the screen, and the total I have, which is then a rough figure, if my calculations are right, is around about £1,574 for everything. Now I mentioned before I didn't do this all in one go. Now that's a lot of money for anybody. I know top YouTubers spend that on a lens, but This is something I spent a few months each time building up. So I saved a bit of money, then got that bit, saved a bit of money, then got that bit. So for those who are interested in, oh, that's a lot, I did spend a nearly entire year doing this. So it's not something I did quickly. So I hope those numbers, those descriptions, the links are in the description as well, give you an insight as to something you can do in your room, in your household. Right? It's not just for making videos, or if you just want to spice up your room so it's more of a workstation as well. If you are working from home, something you can look into. If you've got any questions, any queries, put them down in the comments, or if you want to email me, Aamir at ResearchTribe.org. Again, if you want any questions. But I do hope that bedroom tour is something you find really enjoyable. If you do, give a like, for that would be absolutely amazing. And if you want more stuff like this or more in-depth analysis, let me know. And I hopefully will see you in the next video very, very soon. So take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.